Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Today is March 9th, 2025. I woke up today at probably, I want to say like 11 or 12, and was just like, like, just didn't feel that great. And I realized why, like, it's been so easy for me to, like, play video games and, oh, it's Sunday, by the way. I should say that. Never always forget to say the date. I've realized recently why it's always so easy for me to like these just at work, and then today it was so easy for me to just get distracted and like be on YouTube. I was like, I haven't taken my Astaris, dude. Like, I haven't been taking my focus medication. Like, obviously, it's been difficult. And so I realized that when my mom was talking to me about my aunt's getting her medication, I was like, oh, that's why. And so like once now that I've taken it, I've made food, and I've like my aunt actually stopped by, the aunt I was referring to, and she dropped off this super dope book, and I was like, oh, and I haven't been on YouTube, and I was just like, dude, it's like I can't believe I didn't realize it, and I just felt kind of stupid for it. So then I was like, oh, it's so hard to make a morning video log, like I just don't want to right now. So I edited like two video logs, and I was just like, this is so boring, dude, so boring. And I was like, I wonder, like, I can't figure out why I'm not taking my medication. So yeah, that was really funny of me. Made a frozen pizza today, and then played some VR downstairs, played some Kingdom Come Deliverance, edited two video logs. I still need to edit one more, and then upload all three of them. And then had some other goals for the day, but that's pretty much it so far. Why's my hair doing that? So I need to shower too. Um, yeah, I one of the reasons that like gave me the energy to do this video log was I took my Astaris, and then my aunt dropped off a bunch of like old gosh, his name was like Sir John Scott or something like that. Like, I just forgot what it was, but a bunch of like super cool books. This robe is getting hot. Super cool books, and then she dropped off this home university library book titled The Dawn of History by Sir John L. Myers. And apparently, he was a professor of ancient history at Oxford when he wrote this. And I didn't get an exact year, but I'm pretty sure it's in like 1911 or like 1920. And it's actually really interesting. Like, really interesting. He's talking, like, he goes over so many topics so concisely, so quickly, that it's hard to be like, oh, he talks about this. But like in early history, he talks about like being a hunter gatherer community, because you don't have civilization, you don't have like a real societies yet, and you don't have like that you have gender classes that are separated by necessity, not by like desires or anything that we have today. Like, we're not separated by actual things. We're separated by like what we need to do to survive, right? And so you have a man and a woman come together. The woman can do her things, and the man can do his things. The man leaves the home to go find food and stuff, like things to bring back, right? And then the woman has children, and then like they talk about how once you kind of have kids, it's you have to continue to move around, or else if you designate a place for a long period of time, the child culturally will want to stay there. So if you find a place that's really good, the child will stay there even to the point that the place isn't good anymore. So like let's say you hold up at a place because it had a really couple really good trees or something. Once those trees grow old and die, the child has grown up in this place. He won't want to leave, even though what was originally made this place ideal is gone. He'll still want to stay, and it's because once you stop moving around, you can do you can accumulate wealth, he says. And he specifies not in the way we accumulate wealth today, but you have a place to bring your things, and you have a place specifically to store your things. So you don't have to what's it called? You don't have to carry everything on you. And we briefly talked about it downstairs, but like Native Americans had things they brought with themselves, even though they were technically nomadic. Like, they had a tribe location, but they would move around and do things, which is really interesting. We still move around and do things today. Like, we all have places. Like, we rent homes, we rent apartments, we own homes, whatever it is, whatever your living situation is. But the nomadic opportunity is still there. And when you are doing nomadic things, what do you bring with you besides necessities and your greatest tool? And so we talked about Native Americans bringing, like, oh, all I really need is a sharp knife and a weapon. Like, all you really need are the clothes to shield the sun, something to store water, and a sharp knife. And I'm like, dude, all you really need are clothes, a thing to store water, and your greatest tool. Like, that's all you really need. And I was like, that is so interesting how humans, even in this thing, like, he's talking about human behaviors that we still exhibit today, and how they intertwine with how people used to behave. Like, the behaviors are fundamentally the same. Like, it's the same thought process drawn from the same need, and you get this a very similar result in a different font because we now have a society and a civilization. And I think it's so interesting to read about. It is the coolest thing. And he talks about how as you get more and more groups of people together, like families coming together, because humans are social creatures, you end up having this uh the men of age are kind of the authority, right? Like, because the old men and weak men, you want to call them, like, if you have a structure based on strength, the the strong men are the one leading the hunting parties or calling the shots or whatever. And you have something very similar amongst women with social status, like women who are above other women because of things they've done, who their husband is, things they have, maybe, like, whatever it is. You get these individual social structures. And as the men come together, you can form, like, large hunting parties. And I don't like that he says they're not built on kinship, but more on, like, need and authority. And I'm like, I disagree with that. Like, I understand that they're not built on kinship is us looking back and assuming, but I definitely think there was a lot of kinship. Like, if you got together a group of 25 guys modern day and we were like, we're going to change the world, they would be your best friends. Like, even if the ages were from 15 to 75, like, there's going to be dynamics in between each individual member, but the middle group, the 25-year-olds to the 45-year-olds, who are the strongest technically, are going to be the ones who kind of glue it all together. Like, you're the bridge between generations, yes, and you're the most physically fit. You kind of have a little bit more sway. Even if you're all equal, you have a little bit more sway because of who you are. I would find it near impossible to have a hunting party without kinship. And the reason I say that is because if you make a mistake in a hunting party, like, I've seen 10,000 BC, so I always think of, like, oh, they're hunting a herd of mammoths. Like, they haven't seen mammoths in forever and they're hunting a herd of them. If someone makes a mistake during something like that, you have to have the ability to, like, have someone who's above them go to them and be like, dude, it's okay. like, yeah, it sucks. You messed up. One thing went wrong. Like, someone got hurt. Whatever happened. A couple people died. Like, understand that while it is your fault, we do appreciate you taking responsibility. It is completely okay. And I think that that's a really strong, like, forgiveness is a really strong leadership characteristic that really gets swept under the rug in modern America. Is, like, we hold people to such harsh standards, and we're like, the government, you want to put that into the hands of government, they can't do anything right. And it's like, they could, but the systems that are in place are frail and fragile, and then the people that are running the things are people. Like, they're humans, right? And so we end up holding such high standards to everything that we kind of just expect things to have to be perfect. And it's like, no, dude, like, they don't have to be perfect. They have to work and be positive. Like, they have to work in a positive way. If they're not doing that, there's something fundamentally wrong with the system or the person who's running it. Like, that's it. And if they're running it improperly, that's a mistake. They can learn how to run it properly. Like, they can learn, right? You make a mistake, you learn from it, dude. Like, we have such unforgiving ideology in America, and we talk a lot about societal pressure. This is kind of becoming a run-on video log, but we talk about this societal pressure, and I think that this societal pressure existed even greater at a time where we were hunters and gatherers, but we didn't have such high expectations of each other. Like, yeah, dude, like, if you mess up, we might all die. And I don't want that. No one wants that. Like, if you are the one person who lives and it was your fault we all died, I don't want you to have to live with that as much as I don't want to die, dude. Like, but we have this conflated idea of perfectionism for other people, and we don't realize that what we expect of other people, we expect more of ourselves. And so we kind of get into this point where it's like the government can't do this perfectly. And then we sit here and we're just like on our phones for 6 hours. And it's like, dude, you feel useless because you're on your phone for 6 hours. Like, you feel like you haven't got anything done because you haven't, and that's okay. But you are also highly critical of other things that are bigger than you. I'll say bigger in quotes. Because it's not about importance, it's about quantity, right? You're critical of these things, and then you do nothing. So it's like heavy outspoken against something, and then proprieting isn't the right word. Propagating the issue with your own behavior, and so we just get this societal pressure among people because we all expect so much of others that we expect more than that of ourselves, which is crazy to think about. Like, societal pressure is just in your head because it's the pressure you see exerted on others that then gets forced onto you from yourself. Like, societal pressure, there's no societal pressure on me. Like, actually no societal pressure. I do things because I want to do them, and I want to be good for the people around me, and like good for my community, good for my home, good for my wife, good for my friends and family. Like, I want to be good, so I strive for that. And there are people who don't have that kind of concept and do feel societal pressure. And it's like, the reason I'm able to become so successful and know that I'll be successful and know that I'll be happy and healthy is because I'm doing it because I want to be good for the world. I'm not doing it because the world expects me to be good. And that's just that. Like, realistically, if I were someone completely random watching this video and someone had telegraphed their presidency run 40 years in the future, I'd sit there and go, they're doing it for power, they're doing it for money, they want to be upper rich class, they want to be an oligarch, and they have no other way to do it other than to rally people. Because there's just no opportunities in America today. But I know that I'm doing it because I want to rally America for America. Like, we've kind of lost the plot over the years, in the sense of we give no credit to the government, but we give so much power to people next to the government. And it's really strange how that works. Like, we give power to billionaires and be like, they're better than the government. What? We give money to these billion-dollar corporations and sit there and go, oh, they don't treat their workers well? That's crazy. Let me order this off Amazon really quick. Like, we just do that. And we don't have any idea of how to stop it because we don't come together enough. We don't unionize as a people. And that's the main issue. And that's really interesting, hearing about how we went from this disconnection where we're not reading, we're not writing, we're not doing anything that's going to last more than 100 years after us, and then seeing how we become ancient Egypt, ancient Babylonia, ancient Mesopotamia, ancient ancient Israel, like the Muslim practice. Like, we become these ancient civilizations after the fact, and then in the civilization we're able to have people who document things because they're not focused on food gathering anymore. Like, we have a group of people who food gather and support others, and it's really interesting to see how it's evolved over time. And like, we have to get to a point where we're ready for the tipping point. And like, I came across a YouTube video the other day, and it was like gosh, I don't remember the exact term, but it was like, social reform won't be televised. Like, real social reform won't be televised because it happens right here. Like, you're not going to see it on TV because you're going to be watching the TV and just be like, this is starting to not make any sense. And it kind of unravels in your mind. Like, I always talk about society as a bowl of yarn, like a huge knot of yarn. And it's like, you want to fix one problem, you have to untie this. But in order to untie this, you have to snip 3 cords to get there. Those 3 cords connected to this and this. And so it's like, you have to take the ball of yarn and unravel it in your own mind and realize what we're actually doing doesn't make any sense. And that's kind of how social reform, true social reform, won't be televised. It won't be seen on a screen. It'll be understood. And I think that's a really interesting, uh, psychological phenomenon that we're gonna hit here in the next 40 years. Like we have to, or else our country may have, like, it may fall. Like, if we don't get better leaders, it will fall, and that's just that. And I think the best leaders are gonna be people who realize, like, this is not the way society should be. And you don't want to push how society should be onto others. Everyone should be able to freely express what they think society should be, as long as they can explain how it would be good society. Like, I guess I'm already 16 minutes in, and I'm kind of just ranting. But we're talking about Matt Welsh or Walsh. I don't remember his name exactly. He's not that important. He self-identifies as a theocratic fascist. And he's like, I firmly believe Christianity should be forced on people, and that there should be an authoritarian ruling class. And I'm like, that's kind of ridiculous, dude. Because how is that going to benefit anyone? like even if you were the most successful theocratic fascist government in human history, times 10, like times 10 your success, right? Because there's been a couple all right ones, I'm assuming. Like, what good is it gonna do? Like, what is it actually gonna do that's good? Like, if everyone in America was culturally Christian, cool. We still have a fascist government that firmly believes, because the issue with a theocratic fascist government is you firmly believe Christian ideals should be shoved down everyone's throats, for lack of a better term. Like, everyone should be Christian. If you were able to gentrify the world and all 7-8 billion people were culturally Christian, they all were ruled by the small fascist government, what then? Like what then? You just leave it that way for a couple thousand years? Corruption's gonna take place. Like what is the long term of this? Because in a country that is strictly democracy, you can constantly have people rise up and take power in a better way and unify the people and lead. But in a theocratic fascist government, like, what's the goal? What's the goal of the government? To make everyone Christian. And then what? To consolidate power within a small group of people who control everything. And then what? Just leave it that way for 1,000 years? Have their kids inherit it? And like if the answer is yes, that's interesting. That's a really interesting thought. But you always have to think, and then what? Like, if you have 100% market share in Christianity, everyone is Christian. Everyone. I mean, everyone is Christian. And then what? Everyone falls under this fascist dictatorship, theocratic dictatorship. And then what? What are you doing? Are you giving people equal rights? Are you pushing women down further than they already are within the guise of Christianity? Are you not even talking about divorce? Like, is pornography still a thing within that government? Like what? And then what is all I'm curious about, and I think it's a really interesting thought. But yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. I'll see you all this evening.
One eternity later.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Today is March 9th, 2025. It's the evening. Obviously, I already made the morning video log. We're just going to go over the day at large and then what we'll do tomorrow. So, today... Damn, that was solid. Yeah, after I made my video log, I chilled out for a little while, and then I went to go take Alexia home. She was hanging out with Anna, and then Anna was like, Texas Roadhouse, so stopped. Anna bought us Texas Roadhouse, and then we went and dropped off Alexia home, came home, and then I was like, I want to get some yard work done. It was almost dark, so I just like finished up. We have this like stupid rock patch that has like no business being there, so I took it out, and then there was like tarp under it, threw that shit away. And I was like, oh my god, dude. And then we realized, like, oh man, it's March. We gotta, like, actually start planting seeds, dude. So we're kind of getting to the point where we're gonna be able to do that, which is pretty sick. And then, yeah, that'll probably be tomorrow, honestly. And then, yeah. Got done with that. Took off the dirty clothes. And then, took a shower. My hair's all fluffy. It's pretty nice. And then, I was watching Vikings. I was playing some CSGO. We were chilling. It was pretty nice. And then, yeah, that's pretty much the day. I'm ready for bed now. I'm like, I literally was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. And, like, sat in there and I was like, dude, I make a video log. But here I am. Sounds pretty cool. Yeah, goals for tomorrow. Gotta brush my teeth. Make the morning video log. Upload and edit the video logs. I have 2 that are edited. I just need to actually upload them. And then I need to wake Anna up before 10. We gotta pay our phone bill and go shopping for kids. That'll be pretty sick. That's pretty much all I got for today. I am gonna do that. I need to call Sher. Apparently we're having a seminar this Tuesday, so that's pretty sick. We'll see how that goes. Didn't do that. Did work on the yard. Did do my morning video log. My morning video log this morning was actually really fun. I really liked it. Yeah, I was just yapping, dude. And I mean, it's the same video for you guys, but yeah, really solid. I have the book right here, so that's why I looked up. I really love thinking about people being people is the coolest thing in the world. But yeah, I won't make this even a bit too long because I already yapped for 20 minutes for you guys, and if any of you are crazy enough to watch this all the way through, I don't want to waste too much of your time. So, I need to shave tomorrow. I just saw this in the thing. Ooh. Trim beard. That'll be pretty nice. Yeah, I hope everyone had a wonderful Sunday. Dude, Skips is crashed out, bro. Skips is crashed out, dude. Cute little cat. Yeah, I hope you guys had a wonderful Sunday. I know I did. Have a good night.